So I've hit the record button. If you could just state your name and your title for me, please.
Yes, my name is Taylour Paige.
And you're the star of Boogie, one of these stars, anyway. And actually, I do want to talk about that. That'll be my first question. So this film is a coming of age film, and it's a coming of age film featuring an Asian lead, which you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we've seen, at least
No,
in a very long time.
it's been a while, right? I think Romeo Must Die is the last I can think of.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. At least once again, by my count, anybody out there can correct us if we're wrong. But my question is, this film, as much as it is about Boogie, it's just as much about you and your character. And your character has a not a twist to her, but more of a very unique character trait in the fact that she's very connected to her cultural roots. Do you want to talk a little bit about why you think that is important?
So my dad's family's from New York, and I just feel like there's something so enriching and enlivening about New Yorkers in general. I feel like whether you want, like, there's just, it's woven into the fabric of New York. Like, it is like the state of possibility. It is the port of immigration. It is the port of dreams coming true. It is the place where like things happen, and there's just like such a cultural integrity in New York. So much different food and culture and ethnic, like it's just like everywhere, and it's what makes it so magical and so like the one of the best places on earth, in my opinion. So I just feel like because Eleanor grew up here, she has like a an appreciation for her identity and her family and where she comes from, and yeah.
What I really like about your character is that I mean, in most coming of age stories, like the romantic lead is definitely secondary and supporting, but you are almost feel like a true equal in this film, and even like with the way that your character talks to Boogie, that you always put him in his place. You're not afraid to put him in his place. So, what do you think about her being an empowering woman in like 21st century cinema?
I love that women are being nurtured and cared for in a real way when they're being written now, and that people are being more intentional and asking questions about, like, so in this scene, like, how would you feel about, like, Eddie was very much like, do you feel like she would say it, or if I felt like this isn't feeling right in my mouth, like we would find it. um but like, yeah, like, I think that there's so much diversity within all of us. Like, there's like many versions of you inside of you, and there's many versions of me inside of me, and I just, sometimes I'm more shy, and sometimes I'm more sassy, and sometimes I'm more moody, and sometimes I'm more sensitive and more whatever. So being able to portray that and bring the diversity within myself to the roles I play is like kind of what I hope to have for the rest of my life. And yeah, I think that, though, like, Eleanor's a kid, like kids to me are gurus. Like, they teach us so much before the world tells them, like, before the world tries to inform kids who they are. Like, I wish we would just listen, to, because like this movie is heartbreaking in that, like, there's a lot of pressure and stress and finances, and you know it's hard to be alive. No one really like, on top of, like, and then you got taxes and credit and all the stuff that we, like, and we're trying to heal and trying to be proud of our heritage and where we come from, but then like people make, it's just a lot.
I'm glad you mentioned that. It does really open, like I guess any parent that will see this will probably it'll open their eyes to just how pressuring being a teenager is. And I mean, there's always that stigma that teenagers are troublemakers, but truly, this, aside from Boogie being an actual troublemaker, being rough around the edges, it does highlight just how hard he has it, especially as
So
a
hard.
minority.
And look at us, like, as adults, like, do we always have the tools to handle things right, to have the right delivery, to not say the wrong thing? No. Because often we're all like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 year olds who are kids that never healed their bullshit. So can you really blame him? You're asking the kid to be an adult without the tools, and often without your own tools. So you're just projecting more shit that they have to undo.
How was it working with Pop Smoke?
It was amazing. He is amazing. It was I mean, he was very much like, it's hard for me to look at him still because I'm like, he's just a baby. But I'm just inspired by how much he did and how much I felt like he really loved what he was doing. And I felt like he brought that to set. And he would be like, "Yeah, I was at the studio till 5 a.m. and we're sitting in the makeup chair at 7 a.m." I'm like, "How do you even?" I think he just really loved what he was doing, and it is a tragedy. And I think that, I think we all touch who we're supposed to touch, and then we move on to the next life. And sometimes we touch who we're supposed to touch in our death too, so people can look at themselves and, like, hopefully in our own communities we remember that sentiment. So yeah.
No, I think it's when you were just saying that right now, I just remembered you brought up Romeo Must Die and Aaliyah, and it's so strange. I see those two parallels that she was kind of just getting started when she had that film role, and Pop Smoke feels like he was just getting started when he had this.
Just getting started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he definitely shines a lot in this role. It's so tragic. But I have one last question before we go, and that is, of course, what are you hoping that people take away from this film?
I hope that people um have fun, see themselves, feel like cultural empathy, want to try new food, want to make friends with different people, with people that don't look like them, and ask questions. And, like, also that we can just slow down and, like, remember that you just really never know what anyone is experiencing at home, and where they come from, and, like, we're all just doing our best. And though culturally we all are different, like, we all want the same things. We all want to feel good, we all want to feel loved. So yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Taylor. Once again, I enjoyed the film, and I wish you the best of luck with it and whatever comes next in your career.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your questions.
Take care.
Bye. You too.